Hi, it's Xavier. You are not going to believe this. I woke up this morning, I looked at it, it was raining, I thought, got to go out my retreat, got to do all the usual autumn time, we've got the autumn colours to have a look at. And guess what? One of my most favourite, bestest subscribers, Joe, he invited me to his garden. And, well, I'm jealous already, but you know me, I'm jealous of anyone who's got decent bonsai and loves doing it as a hobby. Right beside me, I think, is a Blackthorn. Joe's going to talk to us about that in a minute. But I'm just so excited. Can't wait to show you what a fantastic garden this is. You won't mind me saying he's 82 years old, but the experience you see in his bonsai shows that 1, he listens, 2, he perseveres, and 3, he truly loves this as a hobby. So without further ado, we're going to continue and go around Joe's garden. And hopefully you will take the time to stay around and watch, because I think this probably represents a lot of people's bonsai's hobby and bonsai gardens, because I recognise that I certainly am not the only person trying to get by with a pair of shears and some wire cutters. Well, finally, here I am in Nottingham, in a lovely little village, and I'm at Joe's place, and it's absolutely a pleasure and a treat, and I can actually see Joe's just working. In fact, should we find out what tree he's working on? Well, thank you first of all so much for inviting me and letting me come by and have a look at your trees.
Fine, yeah.
And I know that, well, you've been one of my most loyal subscribers. You've helped me over the last 2.5 years now?
Yeah, about 2.5 years.
And you've commented on nearly everything, and you've also been honest.
Well, it's the only way. There's no point in saying that everything's fine and rosy when it isn't. You know, you've got to tell the truth.
And I really appreciate that.
Well, you can do the same with mine. You can critique mine.
Well, we're going to have a little tour around your garden in a minute, but you were working on something there. Is a needle juniper, which is...
This needle juniper, in fact, I've left it grow for a bit. I've neglected it a bit. So I'm just trying to get it all nice and tight again. That's about 25 years old to me. It wasn't like this when I moved in and moved here. It was all barren, really. The people that had lived here before had left it in a right mess. My son bought it. So, you know, we spent time and money. The people that built my unit there laid all the pillars in place for me as well.
But I remember you sent me pictures of these, didn't you? Because it's these floating...
Yeah. I went a bit mad with these. I don't know whether you know Timu.
Yeah,
I bought those off Timu. I've still got another spare couple. I've got one over there as well. So I got, you know, just a bit of fun in there. And as you keep saying, I say, you can't have fun, you shouldn't be doing it. If it becomes a bit of a chore, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, most definitely. So, how long have you actually been doing bonsai for?
Since 1978.
This here is your Crassula. Is that the one it is? The Crassula
Yeah, they call it all kinds of things. Jade, elephant tree.
Well, is this the special one that's...
Crassula, the one that you can leave outside.
Right.
I won't. It'll go in the greenhouse over winter, but it won't have any protection other than that.
Look at this. John Pittman.
That's a
John Pitt pot.
I think I told you that it was in a smaller John Pitt pot, and for some reason it fell off and cracked. Oh. So this is a bigger John Pitt pot. I wasn't very happy when that broke, I tell you, but there you go, these things happen.
Especially with me around.
You can have this one. I've got too many of them, so you're welcome to take it back with you.
You're joking?
No. It's a nice little tree.
Wow, oh my goodness.
I've got so many of them.
Let's have a...
I'll say I probably had them about 5 years, on and off.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're welcome to that.
And I noticed you absolutely love putting stuff or getting stuff on rocks.
I planted this up in 1982, I think, something like that. But it wasn't anything as good as this. I joined a Bonsai Club, and Harry Tomlinson was there. And I'd taken this along with other people's trees. And when he came to this, he looked at it, what the hell can I say about this? Well, it's in scale. You know, very kind word, you know.
Tactful, I think.
It's in scale. I love that.
Yeah.
But I think, again, it comes back to what you said right at the beginning.
Yeah.
People should never be afraid to take any sort of positive criticism. Well, it's not criticism, it's development. We all do things differently.
Can you do me a favour?
I can.
Take that with you.
Too generous.
I can't deal with it. It's too big, too heavy.
I'm about to feel really, really guilty, but...
You can take it away with you.
So that's
please.
a pyrocant.
If you do me a favour, take it. It's just too heavy for me to handle.
That's incredible. We've got the crabapple beside it.
Crabapple, yeah.
How long have you had that crabapple for?
Well, I had that when I was in Coventry, so it must be about over 20 years.
20 years.
Well over 20 years. Yeah, this one, a box, I bought it from a company online, and it was actually originally collected by a man called Gao. You can see it on there.
Yeah.
Francois Gao. And he collected it. He tended to specialise in collecting box, and it was styled by him. It's been inundated with caterpillars, so I spray it all the time now. Every week I give it a spray. The caterpillars last year decimated it.
So the caterpillars keep decimating my big Yamadori silver birch that I got a few years back.
This is a Dan Barton pot, by the way.
I discovered Dan Barton on YouTube a year or so ago.
He's magnificent.
He restarted doing stuff, and I know I've got one of his early books.
He's older than me, actually. He's 86, I think.
86. He's doing pretty well.
He is, yeah.
And I think his wife, is she making pots?
Yes.
Yeah,
and his daughter as well.
I noticed you've got them all on these turntables.
Yeah, these are Timu.
Timu again as well?
Yeah, just over £3 each.
Really? And are they just secured down?
They just stand on there. These are all perspex now. All the stands are perspex. I started off using plywood, but like I'm sure you know, plywood tends to split. So I bought a load of these things, and I got a couple more I want to put up.
Love this Scots pine. Incredible. It's just, I mean, again, is this something you've styled or
It was partly styled. Yes, the pot was made for it.
Really? Who?
Yeah, it was made for it.
So you're standing in front of this massive Mugo pine, semi-cascade?
It's semi-cascade. I gradually worked out and got it into pads, and I love it.
Do you find that pines are more taxing or more difficult to...
Yes. The main thing is knowing what to take off it. You know, it's simple as that, really. What buds to take out and what to leave, you know.
Have you sort of followed, are there any particular bonsai sort of professionals whose advice you follow on things like pine? Or is it just you've learned through the ages?
Yeah, watch the videos, your videos.
He's good.
And a few others, and you get ideas from those. You know, when I started bonsai, we're talking about 1978, and there was nothing. No books. No internet, of course. There was absolutely nothing that you could get advice from. You went to garden centres, and if you could, you pick up. I'll tell you the original story how I started. This was in Coventry. My son came home with a Juniper, and it was clear after a couple of weeks he wasn't interested in it. So I swapped him one of my cars for the tree. And it started from there. That was 1978.
So 1978 was that the likes of Dan Barton, Craig Cousins was he of that era?
I've got Craig Cousins. I've got one of his books. Right.
Was Peter Chan known at all around the early stages when you were just starting?
I went to Peter Chan with my wife in about 82, I think it was. And that's when it hadn't long started, and all the old greenhouses and everything was still there. We had quite a good conversation with him, actually, because he knew of Hong Kong, and my wife came from Hong Kong. So they had quite a long conversation. He was a very nice guy, but I just couldn't afford his trees.
I know that feeling.
And of course, then there wasn't anything like the range of trees there are now. He's made a wonderful job of it now. It's the biggest, obviously, got to be the biggest bonsai in the country, I think.
It's I must be honest, it's the first time in that video I did where it's the first time I'd been there with Yella, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
How much material there is that's probably never even going to see the light of day.
Is it Hawthorn? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've only literally just got that one big Hawthorn stump, so I'm still relatively new to Hawthorn. Is there anything particular you might say to me to watch out for, or to...
No, they're very easy. They just look after themselves. There's no real problem with them at all. They don't seem to get any disease. They just are good trees to have, actually.
You've got a Sabina juniper here.
Yeah.
And I think I showed the example at Herons of the one they've got because of the incredible deadwood and the way they grow.
Yeah, yeah.
How long have you had this for?
Let me remember. This one was my first one, and I've had that for about 30 years.
30.
That came from Harry Harrison.
Okay.
He was just really starting then. I've got a couple of his trees, and this one is about 10, I suppose, about 10 years old. But I'm trying to work on the foliage. It keeps losing foliage, both of them do.
I'm aiming that with a couple of junipers I've got.
Yeah.
The eastern red cedars though, and there's just so much expanse of trunk, and you've got to go a long way before you actually get to the foliage mass.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's what's been putting me off juniper for so long.
You need patience in it.
Yeah.
If you haven't got patience, you don't do it. Simple, really. That one, I think I mentioned it to you. That was a free, not quite free, one I got from Greenwood.
Oh, right, okay.
You were talking about he has a corner with all the trees that he doesn't think are worth selling. He puts them to one side, and that was on a heap.
It was interesting.
Literally on a heap.
It's funny. It was interesting talking to Corin last week about that very thing, because sometimes people see it's the bargain and they think, oh, I'm going to get really, really cheap local. Well, they often think low quality trees, but actually, as he explained, a lot of the time they're still good quality, or they've come from collections.
Yes. But
it's just the time it takes to bring them back up to a degree where he could sort of put them on his proper benches and sell them. So you said you met Harry.
I met Harry. Yeah, he came to the club. I joined 2 different clubs, but they were very elitist. I wasn't happy. There was nobody there to say welcome or show us around or anything. And that was the case every time we went. There was nobody who was interested in us. So I gave up in the end and thought I'd go in my own way.
It's a really interesting point, because I keep saying that I'd love to have a bonsai club near me, and the closest to me would mean it would be a good hour and a half to get there, and they normally start at 7. So by the time you get there, you're travelling back really, really late.
Yeah.
Do you get upset if someone doesn't respond to your comments?
No.
No. Now, of course, I reply to every single one of your comments, don't I?
Sorry?
Every single comment I've replied to for you, haven't I?
Yeah.
Do you believe him?
The rosea, which I bought from Greenwood's.
Okay.
There it is, look. Little chip there, I filled it. I was happy to pay the price anyway.
The tree itself is looks very, very nice. I love
apparently
the movement on that.
A little lady had it for many, many years, and she died. She even made the pot, and she died, according to Corin. And it came to him through the family, which is the way it happens, isn't it? The bonsai in the family, bonsai guy in the family dies. What does the rest of the family do with all the trees?
Well, I notice you're still doing cuttings or seeds?
Yeah, some cuttings and whatever. You were talking about they were cuttings from that jade tree or whatever you want to call it.
Again, it's I've shown pictures of your area, and thank you for sending them. But it's incredible to see just how many trees you've got into quite a small area.
82, I think there are. And that doesn't include cuttings. That one.
This is Hinoki Cypress.
Yeah, no, the other one next to it's a Sabina. And it keeps losing its foliage, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
I mean, I'm sure you've just let it grow out and actually just, maybe it just needs to regain a whole lot of energy in the roots and just
that's all
almost let it grow out and then bring it back again when it's really fit and healthy.
Which is what's happening with the other two Sabinas as well.
The Hinoki Cypress, now I've got one that's still basically nursery plants, about 2 foot high.
Yeah.
And I've never actually touched it. It's never actually featured on my channel either. And someone was asking about Hinoki. Is there anything I should know about Hinoki in terms of...
But you do have to be careful because they tend to grow in these rosettes and they're not easy to keep.
So you've got a few olives here, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got 2 olives.
Yeah. I'm only just my olive journey is relatively new. I've got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
How do you find olives in the UK?
They're hardy enough, they're fine. I really cut this one back hard and it's starting to come through again. So yes, they're fine. These I bought, I put them in this, they're going to all be cut right down eventually.
How far down are you going to cut?
Well, as far down as I can get away with, really. These things will, if you cut it there, it'll grow out. They always do. They're so easy to work with.
I think actually you bring up a really, really important point, and one it took me a long time to learn, and that's recognising that no matter how much you've got branching high up that you like, if it's in the wrong place and out of scale, then the best thing to do
is cut it.
And the sooner you come to that decision, often is the better.
They're as hard as nails, these things. They're no problem at all.
Joe's Bonsai Garden.
Yeah, it's olive wood.
Olive wood. I was about to ask you what wood, and I thought you may not know, but it says olive wood. It's love, peace, happiness.
Yeah, I got him to make this for me. This was a Christmas present. Rather belated one, but it was a Christmas present.
I love this maple. Look at the trunk on that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
How long have you had that?
Again, before I moved here. So, I've been here 7 years, so we're probably talking about 10.
It's beautiful. I love all that carved out area.
Yes, it's really nice, isn't it? And it's held its leaves, the other ones have gone.
But it's good to see, it is an ash, isn't it? It's good to see. Is that an ash?
He is useless.
Wisteria, that.
It's a wisteria. See, those of you who are already putting their hand up going, Zav, you've got it wrong again, you and your tree identity.
Oh, well,
thankfully, Joe's just pointed out, I looked at the leaves close and realised that it certainly isn't an ash. It's wisteria, and that's something that I'm going to be trying to dig up in my own garden. I've got a big wisteria stump.
It's never flowered. I've had that well over 20 years, and it's never flowered.
The pad styling on this one is, again, it's quite unique. And I think that's what I like about it. It's your own brand, it's your own style.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It looks fantastic.
Yeah, some people say it looks a bit pom-pomish, but I love it.
And I think if you were going to say anything to anyone about bonsai, even someone who's starting or gets discouraged, I think what I'm getting the feeling is that you've got to love it yourself. And and ultimately, you're designing a tree for your happiness, not anyone else's.
Yeah, and you've got to be not afraid of making mistakes. Losing the old tree is part of the
experience.
The bonsai journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you spend of the growing season out here and working them? Because this strikes me still taking a lot of your time. Yeah,
all day I'm out here. I love being out here. I get very upset when I can't come out because it's either wet or too cold. I get very grumpy if I can't come out.
I
I'm
know.
stuck in my own unit there.
So this one you've got here is it's a yew, isn't it?
It's U-tree, Taxus Baccata.
I literally, just today, there'll be a video uploading about Saving Nurseries, which is an incredible place for bonsai and starter material, and everything they sell at trade price. So I've literally picked up 2 Taxus, and mine are very, very juvenile. I think the ones I worked on last year, very, very young. I've got nothing like this. But
It's taken a long time getting this into the sort of style it is.
was it sort of, in terms of how long you've had this for, it's...
Again, it's 20 years probably.
Right, so it was
Maybe
a
more than
substantially
that.
different shape and size when you first started working on it then.
Again, it was more like a sort of dump, a lump, if you like, and it's taken a while to get it to this stage.
So how have you found the experience of YouTube?
I think it's wonderful. It's fantastic. Coming from a period when there was no such thing, it's been absolutely eye-opening for me. Everything is on YouTube. Doesn't matter what you want, you can find it on YouTube. This one, my grandson bought for me about 5 years ago. He went to a market in Nottingham, and he brought this as a Christmas present. It wasn't in that condition, I can tell you.
I guarantee I believe you.
It was on the edge of dying the next year, as you said. You know, it's all right when you buy it, but the problem is the roots. So I've really had to work hard to get that back for him. They come in shipping containers, and the containers have a water system in them. So it waters them on a daily basis. But they're half dead before you get them.
And I think that's exactly the point that I keep trying to make, is that because I want people to keep trying, but those things are, they're dead. And then the first thing we do, I did it, is you think, oh, I've done something wrong, so I'll tell you what, I'll feed it. Or I better prune it hard, or I'll repot it, and we do it all in the same year.
Yeah.
And then, funny old thing, it dies. So that's a Dan Barton as well. So
I asked him why he did this with his thumbs.
all right.
And all he said was, it's just the way I know how long it is since I've produced the pots.
Right.
It's just a bit of his memory, if you like, in the pot.
Oh, okay. So it's his
that's
way of
what it is.
identifying when he produced that style, or
Yeah.
you know, bonsai for me is just getting out in the garden, and you're able to switch off from the stress of life.
Yeah.
So unless you're a professional, different. But for the rest of us, it's switching off, and it's getting close to nature, or it's finding that inner calm, so that when you have to go back to the real world and to the real pressures, you can say, okay. I just noticed, I was just about to say, we'll put the camera away, and then, of course, I remember seeing pictures of your azalea.
Yeah, that is recent from Harry Harrington again.
Okay.
It was his own tree. A couple of them were his own tree. And I sent him a picture of it a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I should have kept this.
Who's the cat then?
Oh, that's Takeo. Yeah, he wants his treat.
He wants his treats.
He
wants to be on the bonsai retreat. Good lad. Lovely, lovely cat. So anyway, sorry, that's a Harry Harrington tree, and he wished he hadn't given it to you, is that what he's saying?
I think so. I think he paid quite a bit for it. He bought it while he was at one of the shows, and I don't think he did anything to it. I wired it and styled it, and he decided to let it go, and I bought it.
It's amazing. It's got the purple flowers, and they're actually still...
Yeah, it's a rhododendron rather than...
Right.
Yeah, it's a small leaf rhododendron.
If you can get to your nurseries and find the dwarf variety azalea or rhododendrons, which I think a lot of my flowering ones in the March time, everyone needs to have a flowering azalea.
Yes. Let's go and give him something to eat, eh?
You give him something, that's all right, and I'm just going to continue to pan
You
around.
carry on with what you want to do, and I'll go and sort him out. Come on, then.
Now, I am going to say, I think I opened up the episode with I think it's a Blackthorn, isn't it?
Blackthorn, yes.
They bought matching cardigan.
Do you just want to have a chat to me about exactly what? Because I notice it's got berries on it as well. So let's get in close and have a little look at that.
It needs restarting again now. I'll have to rewire it. I took all the wires off, so it needs all the wiring on. It was just, again, it was just a blob. I carved out there, not very good at carving, but it was better than having a flat lump there, so yeah.
Is it something that people should be scared to try?
No, just have a go. You can only kill the tree.
And if it bounces, you can...
Yeah. No, it's part of having the fun of trying something new.
I think actually Joe's bringing out a really big point again. Don't be afraid. All these different techniques and things you see on YouTube or you see in the books, give them a go if you can. If you've got I know sometimes budgets get in the way of things, but you know, for me, that really, I got my first die grinder last year and I've been doing bonsai for 20 years and I've had more fun carving up a privet stump and a hawthorn stump than ever before.
Yeah.
They're a pain to clean up though. Yeah.
But what you have to be careful with these things is the thorns.
Yeah.
You know, it's not called a thorn for no reason.
I know you've got this wonderful example of a maple here and you have no intention whatsoever of cutting it, I'm sure. But if you got given that and you had the time and you want to turn it into a bonsai, what would your first thoughts be with that?
The first thought would be getting rid of that branch and perhaps taking it down to there.
So again, and it's a really, really important point. It seems hard, but you're basically saying, I'm going to get rid of everything that's got...
Everything on top and start again from there.
Do you find that maples, as a rule, you know, come back really strong on a trunk chop?
Easily, yeah.
Because that's a worry for a lot of beginners, is that, you know, they're going to cut away this big tree and it's going to die.
Yeah.
So when would you do that sort of work? If you were going to cut that right back, when, from your experience, would you say would be a good time to do it?
I think the perfect time is in the spring. So is this, you know, it needs time to recover.
The tree can quite happily survive it. It's just about picking the best time, and as you've said, spring, optimum time, because it's got all that new energy where it's going to put it where you want it. Because instead of wasting it on all that foliage, it's going to actually be putting all the energy into those brand new buds.
Into there, yeah.
Which is what you need.
Yep.
Actually, I noticed the graft on that is really nice and smooth.
It is. That's why I chose that one. The graft is really, really good.
So, Joe, thank you so much for letting me tour around and chatting. It's freezing cold out here, I know that, and well, we've both got the same jackets on, but I do appreciate it, and hopefully everyone who's watching will also appreciate the time that you spent on your bonsai and also supporting not just myself, but other YouTube channels.
I'm happy that you've come and seen them, and you can do a video of them, and you know, people will enjoy it, I hope.
Well, I've enjoyed it, and the best thing about YouTube sometimes, if people are happy, is that Joe's Garden's always going to be on there.
Yeah.
Joe, first of all, thank you so much for all the support you've given me and for allowing me to come and see Grandad Joe's place.
Well, sorry for that sudden cut, but Joe did have to go inside. I kept him for nearly 3 hours, and he was getting tired and getting cold. So again, massive thank you to Joe for all of those who stayed and watched through what I think was probably one of the most interesting bonsai chats I've had with someone who has met everyone from Harry Tomlinson to Peter Chan, Craig Cousins, Dan Barton at the beginning. And he's kept on going for 50 years. I think that's a testament to what this hobby can do to all of us. And I know many of us have got gardens along the way to what Joe's got. Now, I didn't expect to be getting gifted these two wonderful examples. I'm actually, because of what Joe said, I've got a couple of these on the go, which will be something subject to 2025. But I love the flowers you get with them, and I love the fact that they're hardy to the UK weather. We don't need to take them inside, although I might do if it gets really cold. This pyracantha, well, I just want to see how it develops. This is one of the ones where at the moment I think I spent all 2025 and just let it grow. So really, really happy with that. Thank you ever so much for that, Joe. So what can we expect next from the Bonsai Retreat? Well, with my newfound confidence in junipers, Yella said this one is ready to go and ready to do something with, and I've just got to decide what. It's very, very old. It's got some incredible angles, but we're going to discuss that in a future video. So if you're interested to see what I do with this, you need to keep watching. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss this. I think this will be a juniper transformation. Whether it's magical, I'll let you tell me in the comments. Apart from that, If you've enjoyed this garden visit with Joe Garland, big thumbs up. And as always, I thank you all for watching. And if you want to see an even funnier garden visit that I did with a good friend, Alex Braunton, who you've seen in numerous videos, he's got an incredible collection of growing trees, especially pines and junipers. In fact, he loves maples. He's got hundreds of maples in his garden. We did 2 fantastic videos where, well, people seem to think we were drunk. Now, I don't know why that would be. I just think we were exuberant. But if you want to see that, well, there you go, straight on. Absolutely epic. Apart from that, happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.